Hello, my loves, and welcome to this reading. So, before I jump right in, I just want to say welcome. If you're new here, I want to give you a little heads up. My readings are a little bit unique. Sometimes weird stuff happens. Sometimes it's just a crazy deep dive. Can be a bit of a journey. So yeah, if you like to dive deep, if you like to find out what is at the core of things, then you are in the right place. So I got something before I started recording, and now I'm thrown off, and I forgot what it was. So either I'm supposed to forget what I thought I knew. Oh, you are supposed to forget what you thought you knew. There's a sentence to chew on for a bit. It seems like with the wind that is blowing here, it seems like you went through a bit of a storm in your life lately. Something that just turned everything right side up. And yeah, like they said, everything you thought you knew is just kind of not like that anymore. Your reality changed. Your perception of reality changed. Maybe you had a few ego deaths. Does feel like it. A few tower moments. Something. Maybe stuff crumbled. Maybe a partnership, relationships fell apart. I get something about a divorce, going separate ways. I thought this was my forever person. I heard that before with the forever person. It came up in one of my readings before. It's not a term that I usually use. So that's always a sign for me that I'm picking up on that from someone else. And yeah, it feels like you've went through a bit of a dry spell lately. Dry spell in what? Love. Is this another love reading? This is an everything reading, right? Don't be modest, Spirit, don't be modest. An everything reading. So what I get from that is that you can apply this to however it fits for you, so that we are talking about more general themes here. And it's just like you can apply it for you however it fits in, like love, relationship, work, finding your path, whatever is present for you at this moment. Okay, no, we're not starting with this deck. We are starting with those. These are a few cards I created the other day. It was just like a spur of a moment thing. And I was surprised that I was guided to bring those, because actually like they're not finished and it's just a few cards, but it seems like they want me to use them. So it seems like there's something about an inner child coming up. Okay, with the work card, well, you've been feeling like, and this ties in with the dry spell, that lately you've been working like quite a bit. And another one from this deck, I'm already calling it a deck. It's a deck of cards. Another one from this. Yes. Which one? That one. Had this before, yeah. I knew that this card would, I knew it. I knew it. Why do I even pull cards? Why do I even pull cards? Yeah, so there's some kind of sweetness missing from your life. Maybe you're literally working too much. It doesn't have to be like what we think of it like normally in terms of work. It can just be that you are missing out on like playtime. Maybe you are putting in a lot of work with your spiritual growth or personal growth. I get something about a garden. Could be like a real garden, a physical garden, but also could be a metaphorical garden about like you have to tend to that inner garden for it in order for it to bloom. I just took that as a confirmation. And there's like emphasis on it. Yeah, did you just see the ant crawl over the ant card? I'm a bit all over the place right now with my thoughts. So yeah, that is what like, maybe that's what you feel like, that you're like scattered. You're like, or you feel like you have to be everywhere all at once. But you know, it's important to fill your own cup. It's important to tend to that inner garden so that you can go back out into the world and give, because you know, like usually the people who are the people I'm connecting to, like you are all people who like work. You're caring. You're caring a lot about the state of the world, about your families, your friends, other people, the people you love, the things you love, the projects you do, like whatever it is, like you care. You care a lot. And the thing is, like when we care a lot and we love things, we like to give, and pour into it. And as it doesn't matter how much we love those things or people, whatever, there comes a point where we just need to go and pour back into ourselves and get our own cup filled. I did that over the last few days. I could tell that I was a bit like there was a lot going on in the energies, and I tried to record readings, but it was just not happening. I went through a dry spell as well. So yeah, you need some sweetness in your life. Something sweet. Something sweet. Nope. You did? Yes. Okay. 2 cards. 2 cards as well. And the bottom of the deck. Oh. The world in... No reverser here. It's the overall energy. Oh guys, we have so many reversals lately. So with the world here at the bottom of the deck, this is like the overall energy, and oh yeah, the tower beneath it. I said it before. Felt like there was some kind of tower happening, like you've went through a tower. So the tower was necessary for whatever is coming to a close in your life right now. You're closing out a huge cycle, and the world card, it keeps coming up in my readings. Also with wow, okay, yeah, so that's okay, yeah, they say to stop here, the Two of Swords. You are in the process of becoming a conscious creator. Like, you are becoming the creator of your own life, of your own destiny. And you are creating literally the dreams you've had since you were a little child. In order to do that, things have to break away. Things have to break away because not everything that we think is what we desire, what we want, is really ours. There are a lot of things that we pick up in the courses over our lives from friends, family, society, and we just adapt them, and we think that is what we need to do. This is, everybody strives for that, right? The car, the career, the family, being married, having kids, the fancy holidays, whatever it is. But not everybody really wants that. It's just something that we are taught. This is what everybody wants, so you should strive for it too. It feels to me like that you've been maybe on this trajectory for a while. You try to achieve those things, or at least if it's not like, it's not this status stuff that I've just been saying. Although I did get, I got something about Milan, and that is like a fashion city. You know, I'm in Italy right now, so those things are pretty present for me. You don't have to have like a real connection to the city, but it's like, it's high fashion. It's a little bit posh. So maybe you've been striving for status things. Or maybe it's just going for like expectations that your families have, that your friends have. And you've been trying to make everybody else happy. But in that, like at some point you realize, well, but is this actually the life I want? And so you are coming into this conscious creatorship of, what are my dreams? What is what I want to do with my life? What is my true North Star? It's like, you hear me talking about my North Star like all the time. This is just for me, like, it's a symbol of what is my own highest truth, and what is that's the point where I can redirect my compass to, like, no matter where I am. It doesn't matter how lost, quote unquote lost, I get on my journey. If I keep remembering my North Star, I can just like refocus my energy and follow that. My own true north. Right. So that's what's happening. So in order to do that, like, first of all, you have to graduate. You have to spiritually graduate in life. This is life school. Your soul is here to learn lessons in life school. So there comes a point where it says, well, okay, so now show me what you've learned. Show me if you are ready to graduate from high school and go into university. That's the world card. So in order to do that, things have to fall away. And depending on how willing we are to let things fall away, the more or less intense those tower moments can feel. The more resistance, the more force the universe has to put in order for us to let go what we actually have to let go of. So yeah, if you've had some really tough tower moments happening lately, this is why. So yeah, speaking about the North Star, I feel like this is where you are headed to. This is kind of like symbolic for your North Star. Did I say that thing about reality? Yeah, I did. With like what you thought, what you believed to be true up until now is not true anymore for you, or like you're questioning what is actually true. Like everything you thought you knew is turned on its head. And so this is what the Justice and the Proclaimer card in showing up here together is talking to me about. Like what I thought to be, what I was taught to be truth, reality, is not really, it's not working for me anymore. And this can be, and I can tell you guys, like I'm feeling my throat chakra like crazy right now. It's really hard to talk. I actually have to take a sip of water. Maybe it is because for like, on the one hand, I'm realizing I'm speaking very softly. That is because it's so quiet here. And I just feel weird when I talk too loud. But then it's also, yeah, it feels like maybe you are not really like the proclaimer, you know, like you're not feeling comfortable with proclaiming your newfound truth. And there's something coming through with it, like you don't have to yet. Like you don't have to tell anyone anything that you're not comfortable with sharing. It's okay. Like we think, seriously, when we start to wake up spiritually, and we suddenly realize like there's a whole lot more to reality than we thought there was, then there's like everyone goes through this phase where we feel like either, oh my God, I have to tell everyone I know about this, and or you feel like you should, but you also know that people will just think you're crazy. And let me assure you, you don't have to. You really don't have to. So I just realized that these two cards, these cards down here, were hidden for you, hidden to you. So here, this is what was hiding, and it's okay. It's okay. Simply because you cannot see it or others cannot see it doesn't mean that it's not there. Things are coming into light. Things are coming into your consciousness, and it's for you to work through those. And it seems like the Hermit card is standing out to me here, with especially in the context of what I just said. Like, you don't need to go out there and proclaim to the rest of the world what you know, what you understood now, because you know when we start out on this journey, like it feels to me like this is like for some of you, this is pretty much like the beginning of like, yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, I just got that confirmation. This is for people who are rather new on that whole awakening journey. Or like you maybe it doesn't have to mean that you haven't been like on a spiritual path before, but you just encountered a new phase in that your spiritual journey, and you're suddenly becoming aware of new layers of existence, of reality. And it seems like you're pretty excited about that, but at the same time, like I say, there is this feeling of, should I tell people or not? And yeah, the Hermit card here in reverse is speaking to me like in two ways. For one, there is this question mark behind it, like, is it okay for me to be in this hermit space, meaning to be in here all by myself, looking within all by myself, being a hermit in that way? That's like one side of it, and the other way it's speaking to me is yes, it's important that you do that. There are good reasons to why. Because when you go through a spiritual awakening and you open up to layers of consciousness that other people are not aware and conscious of, they will not understand it. And if they're not ready to understand it, and if they're not ready to perceive it, they won't, even if you tell them. You cannot force other people to understand or come to understand what you've learned. And there is a huge wisdom in knowing when to speak and when not to speak. And we are living in a world where there's a lot of information like put out, and everybody has to be vocal about everything. And one of the things that I, for myself, really learned also on this journey, and it was a huge relief for me. Like I said, you don't have to share everything you learn because people won't understand. And there are just things that you have to go through by yourself. And eventually you will meet people who do understand, and you will encounter people who are on the same wavelength. And well, who knows, maybe even people in your environment will start asking questions about what you're doing, or what your point of view is. Something. I have friends who kind of woke up alongside with me, but in their own pace and in their own way. And I pretty quickly realized that I had the potential, there was the potential for me to overwhelm them with too much information or too much input. And even if they were interested in it, it was just too much. They couldn't take that much. So I learned to balance that. I learned to really be like more, let them come to me with questions, and then just like let things out like bit by bit, and not just like pour the whole bucket out over their heads. So this seems to be a question that someone has, like, do I have to go out there and tell the world what I know? And maybe that's your role one day. But I think we tend to wanting to do that way earlier in our journey than when we are ready to. And it's a slippery slope, because sometimes we are ready to go out and speak about things, but maybe we're not recognizing the things that we're actually supposed to speak about, because they are not interesting to us anymore. They don't seem that relevant for us anymore, because, well, we're learning this new shiny thing over here. Let's talk about that. Yeah, well, but you're not ready to talk about that because you're still the apprentice yourself in that regard. But there's this whole thing over here that you already know and you could already talk about. And this is actually what those cards are speaking to me about. The Eight of Swords, like the swords are the suit of knowledge and wisdom, clarity, all of those things. So yeah, like I just said, you are the apprentice on this new thing you're doing, on this new journey you're undertaking. The apprentice cannot teach others. Like, you have to go through the process, and you have to learn about it before you can really teach others. But like I said, usually, like, you have a history, like you've done things up until now that you can actually teach. You can talk about it to others. And because we've been talking about the North Star thing, it seems like you are a person, like, you want to share. You want to bring out, like, maybe that's part of your purpose. Maybe that's part of your path, you know? And it seems like, because I'm drawn back to the world card here, it seems to me like that is part of your graduation. Let's go back to that thing about, okay, so let's say you went to university and you got a bachelor degree in, oh dear, bringing up examples is always a task. It's always a challenge. A bachelor degree in literature. All right, let's roll with that, literature. So you could start, because you have you have not just basic knowledge, but you have like a lot of knowledge around. Let's say you studied contemporary European writers, and so you could start a YouTube channel and start talking about this to other people. And maybe you're also interested in spirituality now, and you are you're discovering all those new things, and maybe you could go and combine those two topics, but not just like teaching about spirituality and spiritual path, but you could teach others, like tell others about European writers, literature, and combine it with spiritual topics. And you could just talk about those things and not presenting yourself as a spiritual teacher who's proclaiming the truth to the world, but you could like infuse those other topics that you can talk about, because you know about those, with spiritual wisdom, for example. So it allows you to play, and like this card, it's the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups can be a little bit self-absorbed, a little bit too much in his own world, in his own emotions, and like I said, he knows everything, but actually like, he's the apprentice. He's still like, he has so much to learn. But the beautiful thing about this is it's also it can be a very playful energy. It can be a very heartfelt energy. There's a lot of dedication in there as well. A lot of enthusiasm for the thing that we've discovered now, and we just love to play and to try this out. And so this is like, combine it with the things you know, and try, like, allow yourself to play with the other stuff. Anything else? So there's also something coming through about you don't necessarily have to like, simply because you are on a spiritual path doesn't mean that you have to do this. Like, you don't have to. There is a bird sitting up there and just like proclaiming its wisdom into the world. So what I got with that was like, you don't need, for example, in your profession, it doesn't mean that you have to be a spiritual teacher now. Like I said, if you study art, literature, for example, you can still like do what you've learned. And maybe you can, if you want to, you can shift your focus, or you can just start exploring spiritual ideas within contemporary writers. I don't know, but like, you don't have to make it your profession. And because they said in the beginning it's a reading of like everything, now I've been talking a lot about like, because it came came through pretty strongly, like career things. Yeah, this is pretty much like it's valid for everything in your life. It's bring the spiritual into the mundane. Find in your everyday life the things that you already like, that you're already doing, that you already know how to do. How can you bring an aspect of spirituality in there for yourself, not necessarily for others? And you don't have to share this with others. You don't have to make others see, and you don't have to like okay, I was just trying to go back to that writer, that literature example, but it doesn't work for me in that way. I got something else. So let's say you love to do some kind of like running. Let's say you love running, and you actually found yourself. It brings yourself into a state of meditation, or you feel one with your body and the world and nature and the movement and all of it, and it almost gives you like a transcendency in your experience. And you have a running body, and you try to convince them that they have to get to that stage, that point for themselves as well. And it's beautiful if you have those experiences, and we want to share them with the people in our lives. But like I said before, again, it's let them have their journey, their interest. They don't have to share everything. And maybe you can go like, either you're like, well, I can go running on my own now, because that's what I'm aiming at. So there was something about, was it in this reading or was it the other one that I did before? There was something in there about the importance of structure and routines, but to be flexible in our routines, to do something differently sometimes. So again, like it's important to keep routines, but maybe if, I don't know, your body wants to chat while running, but you want to get into those transcendent states, well, maybe then either you split up your training times and you go running like 3 times by yourself, and then once a week you meet with your buddy and do like the other kind of the socializing thing. Or you're not interested in that anymore, and that is fine, and you just simply let that fall away, meet up with your buddy for a drink afterwards, or to watch a game or whatever. And but do your own thing. Oh, okay. I get something about like there's a fear of losing people over if they don't share those interests with you. And let me tell you, that is a fear. You don't have to. It's unnecessary to have that fear. It's okay if people don't share this interest with you. They're on their own journey. You are on yours. Let everyone have their own experiences. It's not for you to decide what they know, what kind of experience their life should be. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and they are exactly where they're supposed to be. And yes, you still can be friends with people even if they are not, quote unquote, spiritual, if they're not conscious of the levels and layers of reality that you are waking up to. It is a bit of a balancing process to get there, and people will have a reaction to that, but it does not necessarily have to mean that you cannot be friends with them anymore. And I'm speaking out of experience. Like, I have many friends who are not into spirituality and all of that at all. So yeah, just saying that. Okay. Well, and I, again, like, why do I even pull cards? I can just speak without even looking at the cards. Yeah, the ending card and the observer is this. You can be, you can have the role of, okay, so I see this friendship for like what, like, or this relationship, whatever it is. It can be a job. It can be a relationship. It can be anything. Like, this is an everything reading, like they said. It doesn't have to be this. There doesn't have to be those spiritual components in there, or you can find them for yourself and experience them for yourself. And you don't need to fix anything about that other thing. And either, like, you decide, okay, I still like that person, I still want to spend time with that person, and I still find common ground with them and common interests, then do that. And if you still like your job and you can find for yourself a sense of meaning in there, then that's fine. It doesn't have to be like a spiritual profession or whatever. So there's no need to fix anything about the things in your life that are quote unquote not spiritual enough. But what you can do is you can step back, look at those things, and decide. First of all, you can find the spiritual in the mundane. You can find something spiritual in anything. And if it's just being present with a friend, listening to their problems, and connecting with them from a heart, from your heart, and view the relationship with them as a mirror for yourself. That is a spiritual approach that you can use in any relationship, that you can use in any everyday situation, really. Or if it's your job, like, is there meaning in there? Do you find meaning for yourself in there? Well, then you have your spiritual component. So it seems to be, yeah, like, instead of trying to fix the things in your life and make them more spiritual, take a step back and look at them and find the spiritual essence in them, because it's everywhere. Like, we make that distinction between, okay, this is my spiritual life and this is my, like, everyday mundane life. Like, there is no separation. And the moment people understand that, then they become a true, okay, I'm saying it because it's coming through that way. That's a truly enlightened person. A truly enlightened person is one that understands that the spiritual aspect of life is in everything. There is actually no such thing as spirituality. There simply is being and living and being connected to the all of everything. So again, like, no need to proclaim those quote unquote spiritual higher truths to anyone, because you can just simply do that by living, by being you, by being a loving, connected person. And that is the best proclaimer that you can be for your cause, because people see that person and think, like, wow, they really enjoy life, and they are so loving and caring, and they are really, they seem to be like in flow with life. Everything seems to be just there's something about that person. And this is actually, that is the best thing you can do in order to quote unquote argue for the cause of spirituality, in air quotes again. So, is there anything else that wants to come through with that? Nope, we're done here. Okay. Okay, my loves. Beautiful reading. Interesting. That's a new energy stream, like a new way of looking at things. I haven't encountered that before. I think it's really interesting. All right. I loved it. It was fun doing that reading. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you found it helpful, I would love for you to subscribe or leave a thumbs up or leave me a comment. Tell me how it resonated. And I would love to see you in the next reading. Until then, take care. Bye.